When winter settles in and the light grows thin, many of us notice our indoor plants looking a little weary, like old friends who need a bit of extra warmth and care. But here's the beautiful truth, dear friend. You don't need expensive tools or fancy gadgets to revive your indoor garden. Simple, inexpensive finds from Dollar Tree can make winter feel far less harsh for both you and your plants. As we go through this gentle journey together, I'll share not just clever plant hacks, but reflections gathered from years of tending greenery through cold seasons. I'll bring in real stories too, like the time my own peace lily wilted by the kitchen window, until a thrifted humidity hack brought it back to life almost overnight. So settle in with a warm cup of tea, and let's explore all the quiet little ways you can help your plants feel comforted, supported, and renewed. When the winter air inside our homes turns dry enough to make even our lips crack, our tropical plants feel that stress even more deeply. Many of them come from warm, misty forests, where humidity wraps around them like a soft blanket. So when January rolls in and the heater hums all night, it's no wonder their leaves droop or curl. One of the most gentle, low-cost ways to help them is by creating a mini greenhouse using a simple clear shower curtain liner from Dollar Tree. I know it sounds almost too simple, but this little trick has rescued more than a few plants in my home. Imagine taking a tension rod or a couple of command hooks and draping that clear curtain around a small plant shelf. The result is a cozy, softly lit corner where moisture naturally gathers and hugs your plants. I once set up a tiny humidity tent for a calathea that had been sulking for months, its leaves constantly crisping along the edges. Within a week, inside that improvised greenhouse, the plant began lifting its leaves again, almost as if it were sighing in relief. The key is to keep the space breathable. Poke a few small holes or leave a tiny gap so fresh air circulates and mold won't settle in. What I love most about this hack is how doable it is, even for those of us with limited mobility or energy. No heavy lifting, no complicated assembly, no pricey equipment, just a liner, a few hooks, and 5 quiet minutes. When you step back and look at that little greenhouse gleaming in the morning light, you might even feel something soften inside you. It's a small reminder that nurturing doesn't always require force. Often it's the simplest shelter that makes life bloom again. When the air inside your home turns dry enough to feel almost crackly, your plants feel it even more intensely. Many indoor varieties, especially tropical ones, rely on a consistent level of moisture in the air to keep their leaves soft, plump, and vibrant. One of the simplest, most overlooked ways to raise humidity in a gentle, natural way is by using water-filled containers placed strategically among your plants. It sounds almost too easy, but sometimes the best solutions really are the ones that have been in front of us all along. All you need is a Dollar Tree storage container. Any shallow plastic bin will do. Fill it halfway with water, and then place smaller containers or even a layer of pebbles inside. As the water slowly evaporates, it creates a steady, low-effort humidity boost in the area around your plants. I remember visiting a friend's apartment in Ohio, where winter heating was so strong it made every plant in her living room droop like they'd given up. Instead of buying a humidifier, she simply filled 3 small Dollar Tree containers with water and tucked them behind her potted palms. Within 2 days, the air around that little corner felt noticeably softer, and her plants began standing taller again. What I love about this hack is how accessible it is. No lifting heavy items, no technical setup, and no electricity required. For older gardeners or anyone with arthritis or limited energy, this is gentle, sustainable plant care at its finest. You can also group a few of your more sensitive plants together around the container, forming a small community of greenery that benefits collectively from the rising moisture. It's almost like creating a quiet neighborhood for them, each plant sharing warmth with the others. As the days pass, you'll notice leaves looking lively again, showing colors more vividly and growing with renewed confidence. Winter might dry the world outside, but inside your home, this simple trick can help restore a sense of comfort and ease both for you and your plants. Some plants seem almost shy during winter, as if they curl inward the moment the air grows too crisp and the sunlight grows too faint. For these delicate souls, tiny ferns, tender cuttings, newly rooted propagations, a personal little sanctuary can make all the difference. And you don't need anything fancy to give them that comfort. A glass vase, a hurricane candle holder, or even an old jar from Dollar Tree can become a perfect miniature greenhouse. When you place one of these glass covers over a small plant, you're essentially recreating the soft, warm environment these plants knew long before they ever sat on your windowsill. The trapped moisture creates a quiet microclimate, gently holding humidity close to the leaves, while still allowing light to filter through. I once rescued a very stubborn nerve plant using this exact method. It had been slowly fading all winter each day, losing just a little more color, like a fading memory. I rinsed out an inexpensive Dollar Tree vase, set it over the plant, and left a small thumb-sized gap at the bottom for airflow. Within a week, that little plant began pushing out new leaves, blushing pink again, as if grateful for the extra care. It's moments like these that remind me how small efforts can bring unexpected joy. For older gardeners or anyone who enjoys creating beauty with limited effort, this hack is gentle and stress-free. No bending, no pruning, no tinkering. Just place the vase, tilt it slightly for ventilation, and let nature do the quiet work. Beyond health benefits, these mini greenhouses add a lovely decorative touch to your home. A row of glass domes on a shelf looks intentional, peaceful, almost museum-like. Every time you walk past, you see more than plants. You see little pockets of life thriving through winter. And perhaps that's a reminder we all need. Even in the coldest seasons, warmth can be created with the simplest touch. Winter light can be a quiet thief, stealing brightness from our rooms, little by little, until even our sun-loving plants begin to stretch and lean, reaching desperately for every sliver of daylight. When windows face north or east, the struggle becomes even more noticeable. Yet one of the cheapest, most effective ways to give your plants a meaningful light boost is with something you probably already have in your kitchen: a sheet of aluminum foil. Paired with a simple piece of cardboard from Dollar Tree, it becomes a clever light reflector that redirects soft winter sunshine right back onto your leaves. It's a gentle trick, but one that can dramatically shift how much usable light your plants receive. I once helped a neighbor who adored her succulents, but couldn't figure out why they turned pale and leggy every winter. We cut a piece of cardboard, wrapped it in foil, and propped it behind her pots. The next morning, sunlight hit the board and bounced across the entire cluster of plants, bathing them in a glow they hadn't felt for weeks. Within a month, the new growth looked tighter, stronger, and healthier, proof that even small adjustments can restore life in surprising ways. And for seniors or anyone wanting plant care that requires minimal effort, this hack is ideal. No heavy lifting, no cords, no expensive grow lights, just a reflective board placed calmly behind your plants. Another unexpected benefit is how interactive this little project can feel. You can tilt or adjust the reflector each week to follow the angle of the winter sun, almost like gently guiding the daylight toward your indoor garden. And as you see your plants respond, lifting their leaves toward the renewed glow, you're reminded that even in the faded light of winter, hope and growth are still possible, with just a bit of creativity and care. As winter settles in and daylight becomes soft and fleeting, many plants begin to show signs of quiet struggle, leaning toward windows, stretching thin, or developing pale leaves that hint at their longing for more gentle light. One of the most accessible ways to brighten their days is by creating a simple light box using Dollar Tree white foam boards or poster boards. These boards don't just reflect light. They soften and spread it, wrapping your plants in a comforting glow that feels far closer to natural spring daylight. By arranging the boards behind and beside your plants in a three-sided formation, you help them catch every bit of brightness the day has to offer, without the harsh glare of direct sun or the cost of professional grow lights. I remember helping an older friend who kept a beloved philodendron by her east-facing window. Each winter she'd worry as the leaves grew sparse and the stems stretched unevenly. We created a light box in about 5 minutes, one board behind 2 to the sides, and positioned her plant just inside this soft enclosure. The transformation was slow but steady. Within a few weeks, new leaves unfurled with confidence again, and the plant regained its full, vibrant silhouette. She told me it felt like giving her plant a room of its own, a protected space where it could truly thrive. What I like most about this hack is how beautifully simple it is. Foam boards are lightweight, easy to adjust, and gentle on older hands and joints. There's no lifting, no drilling, no fuss, just thoughtful placement and a bit of care. And beyond the functional benefits, the white panels give your plant corner a clean, intentional look, almost like a peaceful display in a cozy little plant gallery. When light grows scarce and the world outside feels dim, these bright boards offer your plants the reassurance they need that someone is looking out for them even in the quiet months. When winter dims the corners of your home, even the most determined plants can begin to look a little weary, as if they're stretching toward light that simply isn't there. But a small, clever trick using Dollar Tree mirror tiles can help brighten their world dramatically. Mirrors don't just reflect your room, they reflect precious winter sunlight, redirecting it toward leaves that need every bit of help they can get. By placing these lightweight tiles along the wall behind your plants, or propping them beside a pot that sits in a darker corner, you create a gentle, natural light amplifier without plugging in a single device. It's a simple shift, but a powerful one, especially for older adults who prefer plant care that doesn't require heavy equipment or ongoing effort. I once visited a retired teacher who kept a row of prayer plants along her dining room wall. Each winter, those plants grew thin and pale, as though whispering for more sun. Instead of relocating them or buying expensive lights, she arranged 3 small mirror tiles in a folding screen pattern behind the pots. The next afternoon, when daylight streamed in from a nearby window, the entire wall glowed softly light, bouncing from mirror to mirror until it reached every leaf. Over the next few weeks, her plants perked up beautifully, filling out like they were preparing for spring. She told me it was the first winter they hadn't struggled. What I love about this hack is how gentle and adaptable it is. You can adjust the angles easily, even with arthritic hands. You can add more mirrors or remove them with a soft tug. And there's something peaceful about seeing light scattered around the room in unexpected ways, like tiny reminders that brightness can always be redirected when life grows dim. For your plants, this extra reflected sunlight can mean stronger growth, deeper color, and a healthier spirit throughout the coldest season. Cold drafts are one of winter's quietest threats to indoor plants. They sneak in through window panes and old frames, settling like invisible frost on leaves that were perfectly healthy just days before. Many older homes, especially those with charming but aging windows, let in more cold air than we realize. One of the easiest ways to protect your plants from these harsh winter chills is by using simple bubble wrap or a clear plastic tablecloth from Dollar Tree to insulate your windows. It may sound a bit unconventional, but this thin layer acts almost like a warm scarf wrapped gently around your home, softening the cold before it reaches your delicate foliage. I learned the power of this hack years ago while helping an elderly neighbor who loved her African violets. Every winter, despite careful watering and good light, her plants would develop brown patches on the leaves, subtle signs of cold stress. We pressed bubble wrap onto the glass using a few small pieces of tape, making sure the bumps faced the window for better insulation. The next morning, you could feel the difference just by holding your hand near the glass. And her violets, they didn't suffer a single cold-damaged leaf that entire season. She told me it felt like her window had been mended without replacing a thing. What makes this hack so senior-friendly is how light and forgiving the materials are. Bubble wrap weighs almost nothing, cuts easily with scissors, and doesn't require strength or reaching. You can also remove or reapply it throughout the season depending on the weather. And because it's clear, it still lets plenty of light through your plants, won't feel boxed in or shaded. It's truly one of those small but mighty tricks that brings comfort not only to your indoor garden, but to your living space as well, keeping the cold where it belongs outside. Cold air can slip into a room the same way old memories do, quietly, and sometimes at the worst moments. For our indoor plants, those gentle drafts can feel like sudden winter gusts, chilling their roots and stressing their leaves, even if the rest of the home feels warm. A very simple, almost playful way to block those sneaky drafts is by using a Dollar Tree pool noodle. It's light, inexpensive, and surprisingly effective. By cutting the noodle to the length of your windowsill or the bottom of a drafty door, you create a soft, insulating barrier that stops cold air in its tracks. And because pool noodles are made of flexible foam, they're incredibly easy to handle, especially for older gardeners who want solutions that don't strain the hands or back. I once helped a woman who kept her favorite spider plants near a sliding patio door. She couldn't move them because that corner held sentimental value. She liked seeing her plants catch the morning light, just as her late husband used to. But every winter, those poor plants suffered dramatic browning at the edges, all from that thin, icy draft creeping under the door. We took a bright blue pool noodle, sliced it lengthwise, and tucked it snugly along the bottom track. She covered it with a soft kitchen towel to match her decor, and within a week, the difference was noticeable. The leaves stayed green, full and calm, no longer fluttering each time the wind pressed against the door. Her whole plant corner felt warmer, emotionally and literally. The beauty of this hack is not just its simplicity, but its flexibility. You can trim the noodle to fit any length, cover it with fabric to make it blend in, or even stack two if the draft is especially stubborn. It won't block the light, and it won't get in your way. It simply sits there quietly, doing its job, keeping your plants safe from the cold. Sometimes the most unexpected items, like a cheerful foam tube meant for summer swimming, become the unlikely heroes of winter plant care. Watering in winter is a delicate dance. Too much, and the roots suffocate in cold, soggy soil. Too little, and leaves crisp at the edges, shrinking back, as if guarding themselves from the dry air. Many plant lovers, especially those juggling busy schedules, arthritis, or limited mobility, struggle to find the balance. That's why a simple, slow-release watering system made from a Dollar Tree plastic bottle can feel like a quiet miracle. With just a few tiny holes poked into the cap or base of the bottle, you can create a steady, low-effort trickle of moisture that keeps soil evenly damp without ever flooding your plant. The bottle sits upside down in the pot, giving your plant what it needs slowly, gently, and consistently. I first discovered this method when helping my aunt, who lives alone and often forgets her watering schedule during winter. She adores her peace lily, but lost several over the years because the soil kept swinging between bone dry and waterlogged. We washed out a small juice bottle, poked 3 tiny holes in its lid with a sewing needle, filled it with water, and nestled it into the soil. The next week, her peace lily looked noticeably more relaxed. No drooping, no yellowing, no signs of stress. The soil stayed evenly moist, and she didn't have to lift a heavy watering can or crouch down to reach the pot. Months later, she still calls it my little guardian. What makes this hack especially meaningful is how much independence it offers. You don't need to remember daily watering. You don't need to bend or hover over your plants. And you certainly don't need expensive gadgets. Just refill the bottle every few days and let gravity and soil do the rest. This small system creates a soft rhythm of care, steady, predictable, and kind to both you and your plants. In winter, when so many things feel unpredictable, this gentle consistency is often exactly what our indoor gardens crave. Winter can be especially tricky for plant roots. When the air grows still and cool, soil tends to hold moisture longer, and before you know it, your plants are sitting in dampness that invites root rot and fungal trouble. Heavy ceramic pots, though beautiful, often lack the airflow needed to keep roots breathing comfortably during these colder months. That's why using simple mesh laundry bags or produce bags from Dollar Tree can be a quiet lifesaver. These breathable bags act like a soft shield around your pots, allowing excess moisture to escape while still giving structure and support. Slip your plant pot into a mesh bag or use the bag as a liner inside a decorative basket, and you create a gentle airflow system without lifting heavy containers or investing in expensive self-aerating pots. I once visited an older gentleman who grew herbs on his kitchen counter year-round. His oregano and mint flourished in summer, but always declined in winter. The roots stayed too wet, and fungus gnats became frequent, stubborn guests. We found a pack of mesh laundry bags at Dollar Tree, and with a little patience, slipped each herb pot inside one. The difference was remarkable. Moisture stopped pooling at the bottom, and within 2 weeks, his herbs smelled stronger and looked happier. Even better, he no longer had to lift the pots to check drainage. He could see and feel airflow through the mesh. He told me it felt like giving his plants a pair of breathable shoes after they'd been stuck in boots for months. What makes this hack perfect for seniors is how light and easy it is. Mesh bags require no tools, no bending, no effortful adjustments. They also add a charming casual texture to your plant displays, softening the look while still feeling tidy and intentional. Whether you use them as sleeves liners or simple drainage helpers, these little mesh bags work quietly in the background, protecting your plants when winter conditions become less forgiving. A small touch of light fabric, and suddenly your plants can breathe again. Watering plants in winter is a bit like threading a needle. Every small movement matters. The soil dries unevenly, the air wicks moisture away faster, and many plants slip into a slower rhythm that makes them more sensitive to overwatering. For older adults or anyone wanting gentle, precise control, a simple Dollar Tree turkey baster becomes an unexpected but incredibly effective tool. With its narrow tip and soft squeeze bulb, you can guide water directly to the root zone without disturbing delicate soil or splashing water onto leaves. Instead of guessing or pouring too much from a watering can, the baster lets you deliver just the right amount, exactly where it's needed. I first learned this trick from a retired florist who kept dozens of small pots along her kitchen shelves. She told me she struggled every winter because traditional watering cans were too clumsy, knocking over tiny succulents or flooding fragile seedlings. I watched her gently dip the baster into a glass of lukewarm water squeeze and release a thin ribbon of moisture right at the edge of each pot. Not a drop fell where it shouldn't. Over time, she'd even developed a habit of using the baster to test soil moisture, a light squeeze into the dirt, then a gentle pull to see if any damp soil came up. "It's like listening to what the roots are telling you," she said with a smile. What I love about this hack is how empowering it can feel. You don't need strength or perfect balance. You don't need to lift a heavy pitcher or bend low over a shelf. The baster fits comfortably in your hand, allowing small, thoughtful watering sessions that feel almost meditative, little moments of care that don't strain your body. And the results: plants stay healthier, soil remains evenly moist, and winter overwatering becomes far less likely. Sometimes the simplest kitchen tools offer the most meaningful solutions, especially when caring for the living things that brighten our homes through the darkest months. When winter light grows thin and the sun tilts lower in the sky, many vining plants begin to stretch themselves in search of brightness. You've probably seen it, those long, fragile stems reaching toward the nearest window, leaving gaps of bare space between leaves. It can feel a little discouraging, especially when you've nurtured these plants for months. But there's a gentle, Dollar Tree-friendly way to guide that wandering growth and help your vines stay full, and supported bamboo stakes paired with soft twine or ribbon. With just a few stakes pressed gently into the soil and a bit of twine woven between them, you can create a simple trellis that gives your plant something sturdy and comforting to cling to. It turns chaos into structure and winter stress into an opportunity for graceful growth. I once helped a widow who kept an enormous pothos trailing down the side of her bookshelf. During winter, the plant became lanky and uneven, sending long bare stems toward a nearby lamp. She didn't want to cut it back. Her husband had given her that plant on their anniversary years before. So instead, we created a soft trellis using Dollar Tree bamboo stakes and a roll of green jute twine. We arranged the stakes in a loose triangle around the pot, tying the twine in gentle zigzags. Then we tucked each wayward vine into place. A month later, the plant looked lush again, full of new leaves twirling upward, as if it finally understood where to grow. She told me it felt like giving the plant a spine, something solid to lean on when life got dim. This hack is wonderfully accessible for seniors too. Bamboo stakes are lightweight, easy to move, and kind to arthritic hands. The twine doesn't need to be pulled tightly, just looped softly so the stems rest comfortably. And because the setup can be as simple or decorative as you'd like, it adds charm to your space, rather than looking like a temporary fix. A supported vine is a confident vine. And in winter, that little bit of guidance can turn a struggling plant into something beautifully intentional. Winter has a way of settling dust inside our homes. With windows shut tight and heaters humming for hours, tiny particles float and land where they please, especially on the broad leaves of our indoor plants. What many people don't realize is that this thin film of dust blocks precious winter light, making it even harder for plants to photosynthesize during a season when they're already working with less. One of the simplest, most soothing winter tasks you can do for your indoor garden is gently wiping each leaf with a soft microfiber cloth from Dollar Tree. It's an easy habit, but one that brings a surprising amount of peace, both in the act itself and in the renewed shine your plants reveal afterward. I once visited a couple in their 70s who kept a grand rubber tree near their living room window. Over time, the leaves had lost their luster, turning dull and slightly gray. They assumed the plant was sick, but really it was just coated in months of quiet winter dust. We dampened a microfiber cloth with lukewarm water, supported each leaf with one hand, and gently wiped away the buildup with the other. As the cloth passed over each surface, a natural glossy green emerged, almost like uncovering the plant's true self again. The couple was amazed. "It looks alive again," the wife said, laughing softly. Even the air felt lighter, as if the plant had been holding its breath and could finally exhale. What I love about this hack is how calm and accessible it feels. You don't need tools or strength. You don't need bending or heavy lifting. Just a cloth, a moment of patience, and a willingness to care. For many seniors, this becomes a meditative ritual, something you can do while listening to quiet music or simply enjoying the stillness of a winter afternoon. Leaf by leaf, you restore your plant's ability to absorb the light they desperately seek this time of year. And in that process, you might also feel yourself slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect with the simple beauty of tending something that depends on your hands. Winter can be a confusing time for indoor plants. The air feels dry, yet the soil often stays wetter for longer. Light is limited, yet pests like spider mites seem to multiply overnight. One of the easiest, most practical tools to keep on hand during this season is a simple Dollar Tree spray bottle. It may look humble, but it becomes a multitasking helper for misting, gentle cleaning, and even light pest prevention. You can fill one bottle with plain water for a soft humidity boost, another with a diluted neem oil mix to keep pests at bay, and a third with a mild leaf cleaning solution. Label each one clearly, and suddenly you have a small, organized winter care station that supports your plants in ways most gardeners overlook. I once helped an older woman who struggled with recurring spider mites on her prayer plant each winter. She thought she needed complicated treatments or expensive tools, but the truth was much simpler. We mixed a teaspoon of neem oil with warm water in a Dollar Tree spray bottle, labeled it, and misted the undersides of the leaves every few days. Within 2 weeks, the mites were gone, and the plant started unfurling new leaves, soft and glossy again. She also kept a second spray bottle filled with plain water, which she used to mist lightly in the mornings, just enough to mimic the gentle humidity of warmer seasons without soaking the foliage. She told me the routine made her feel calm, like she was giving her plants a morning greeting. What makes this hack especially kind to seniors is how flexible and lightweight it is. A spray bottle requires no bending, no lifting heavy containers, and no overthinking. Just a gentle squeeze of the trigger, a slow mist drifting across the leaves, and you've created a moment of care that benefits your plants all winter long. It also encourages a mindful rhythm, checking leaves, saying hello, noticing little changes. And in winter, when plants can feel more fragile and the days feel a little quieter, these small rituals can become a comforting part of your day, nurturing both the greenery and the gardener. When winter steals away the sunlight and our windowsills fill faster than the daylight can reach them, many gardeners begin to feel discouraged. There's never enough space, never enough light, and never enough places to tuck the plants we love. But here's a beautifully simple solution. Create a vertical garden using Dollar Tree command hooks. With just a few peel and stick hooks and lightweight pots, you can lift your plants closer to the light open space on your tables and turn a plain wall into a peaceful living display. This idea is gentle on the hands, easy on the eyes, and kind to anyone who wants more beauty with less effort. I once helped an older friend who kept her plants crowded on every flat surface she owned, tables, counters, even a tiny stool by the door. Her home was charming, but her plants were struggling because they were all competing for what little winter light came through her narrow windows. We picked up a handful of command hooks from Dollar Tree, chose the wall beside her brightest window, and created a staggered pattern that let each plant hang without shading the others. We used lightweight Dollar Tree pots, added a bit of twine for character, and gently hung each plant on its designated hook. When we stepped back, the transformation was breathtaking, a calm wall of greenery rising upward like a gentle garden tapestry. Within weeks, her plants perked up, their leaves fuller and more vibrant. She told me it felt as though the entire room had been lifted. What I love about this hack is its accessibility. There's no drilling, lifting, or heavy rearranging. Command hooks are renter-friendly, senior-friendly, and easily repositioned whenever you want to refresh your space. And more importantly, this vertical setup helps your plants catch every possible ray of winter light, while also turning your home into a cozy sanctuary of green. A vertical garden isn't just practical for small spaces. It's a reminder that beauty can rise even in the dimmest months, one gentle step or one hanging pot at a time. Sometimes it's the smallest tools, the ones almost too simple to notice, that make winter plant care feel easier, calmer, and more manageable. Dollar Tree carries a handful of humble items that, while not full hacks, quietly support your plants behind the scenes. Cleaning gloves, for example, might not seem special, but they protect older hands from cold water and gritty soil, making repotting or pruning far more comfortable. Lightweight plastic bins can gather your sprays, cloths, fertilizers, and extra pots in one tidy place, so you're not bending, searching, or reaching into cupboards. A good pair of scissors, even the inexpensive kind, becomes essential during winter cleanup, trimming dead leaves, cutting twine for trellises, or opening bags of soil. And then there are the small saucers, perfect for catching drips or holding propagation jars without risking water damage to your shelves. Even decorative stones serve a purpose, helping top-dress soil to reduce evaporation and deter fungus gnats, while giving your pots a polished, intentional look. I once met a retired nurse who kept all her plant supplies scattered around her home. Gloves in a drawer, scissors by the sink, spray bottles on the floor. She told me she always felt too tired to gather everything for plant care, so she often postponed tasks until her plants looked stressed. One afternoon, we filled a Dollar Tree bin with all her essentials, lined it neatly, and tucked it beside her favorite plant stand. The very next week, she told me she had cleaned and misted her plants twice, simply because everything she needed was right there. Her voice sounded lighter, almost proud, like caring for her plants had become a pleasure again, rather than a chore. That's what these small items do. They support not just your plants, but your energy, your comfort, and your sense of ease. Winter can already feel heavy, so having the right tools within arm's reach gives you the freedom to nurture your indoor garden without strain. Sometimes the simplest supplies create the greatest sense of calm little helpers that make every step feel more doable, more peaceful, and more joyful. Winter can feel long, quiet, and a little lonely at times, especially when the world outside turns gray and still. But tending to an indoor garden, no matter how big or small, creates a gentle sense of purpose, a rhythm that brings warmth into the home, even on the coldest days. With simple, affordable tools from Dollar Tree, you've seen how easy it is to build a cozy environment where your plants can rest, recover, and even flourish through the season. From creating humidity havens and soft light reflectors to crafting self-watering bottles and building vertical displays, each hack reminds us that creativity doesn't require money, only intention, patience, and a willingness to try. I've watched so many people, especially older gardeners, rediscover confidence through these small acts. One woman told me her winter plants once made her feel overwhelmed, as if everything required too much effort. But when she tried just 3 of these ideas, washing leaves with a soft cloth, setting up a tiny light box, and using a turkey baster for gentle watering, her entire plant corner transformed. Not just the plants, but the way she felt visiting them each morning. She said it reminded her of tending her garden decades ago, only now with new tools that made the process kinder to her hands and her energy. That's the gift of these winter hacks. They give both you and your plants a chance to breathe again. As you move forward, let your indoor garden be a reminder that growth never disappears. It simply shifts, slows, or asks for a different kind of support. Try a few of these ideas this week. Notice how your leaves respond, how the air softens around grouped plants, how the room brightens with a small reflector or mirror. And most importantly, allow yourself to enjoy the calm these small rituals bring. Beauty doesn't come from expensive gadgets. It comes from care, attention, and the quiet joy of giving life a place to flourish. Until next time, may your home stay warm, your hands stay gentle, and your garden, no matter its size, continue to bring you peace all winter long.